Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. It's Woodbine Mohawk Park on a Saturday night here in Campbellville, Ontario. There's a live look outside at our 7/8 Oval as we gear up for an 11 race program. Saturday nights reserved for the Pacers on All Pacing Dash, a good looking card on a fast track. Track condition continues to be very sharp out there. What is a bit different than yesterday, temperature has dropped again down to -7. It's expected to continue to drop, and then some wind chill is going to be factored in. The winds are going to pick up a little bit later on. Right now, not too bad, coming in from the northwest at 16 kilometers an hour. But I, Chad Rosema, welcome everybody inside the announcer's booth as we put the finishing touches on the month of February with this 11 race program. With some good wagering opportunities as well tonight. So thank you to everybody who's decided to come on out to the track tonight or tune in via simulcast. Good luck with all your wagers. I've got program changes right now before we head downstairs and join Jeff and Elisa for the Saturday edition of Woodbine Racing Live. So let's get you caught up. Not too much to report at this point, but race number 1 kicking off our early pick 5. It's guaranteed at $75,000. No changes. Race number 2 is all clear. Third race, that's where we get tonight's early pick 4 underway. No changes. Pick 6 begins in the 4th. Number 7, Stonebridge Helios. We'll go blinkers to open. Also adds a Murphy blind on the right side. So blinkers are removed with a Murphy blind on the outside added to number 7, Stonebridge Helios, and the kickoff to that pick 6. Race number 5, scratch number 4, Ario Hanover Vet Sick. Take out the 4, Ario Hanover Sick from race 5. 6th race, kickoff to the late pick 5. No changes in the opening leg. Tonight's 7th race, no changes. Race 8 is where we get the late pick 4 underway. All clear. Tonight's 9th race, our open pace, no changes. Race number 10, number 4, Forefather. Removing the Murphy blind on the inside. Remove the Murphy blind on the left of Forefather in race 10. And race 11, no changes in the race itself. We do have the Jackpot High 5 available to play. The carryover coming into tonight, we are just shy of $50,000. Good luck if you're going to play along. All the best with all your wagers on this Saturday 11 pack. Coming your way in under 40 minutes time. Downstairs we go as promised. Saturday edition of Woodbine Racing Live with Jeff Bratt and Elisa Blow.
The Woodbine Mohawk Park Racetrack is located within the traditional lands of the Mississaugas of the Credit of the Anishinaabe peoples and the Haudenosaunee, on whose traditional territory we meet. Mohawk, our namesake, is one of the Haudenosaunee nations, Kanyen-Kahaka, meaning the people of the Flint. This territory is covered by the Dish with One Spoon Wampum Belt Covenant, an agreement between the Anishinaabe and the Haudenosaunee to peacefully take care of the land and resources around the Great Lakes. Woodbine Entertainment is honored to care for this land, our human and equine athletes, and provide a place to race responsibly that offers a meaningful way of life for thousands of Ontario families. Miigwech, Niawen, Kanaskomitten, merci, thank you.
Campbell still the best, 19 in a row. Campbell
Down to the wire. Hermie Chef wins the Simcoe Stakes.
He's big, he's strong, and he has got it going on. Top 25, Canada's horse. Some beach somewhere.
Yeah, motivated on focus.
Very rough and pacing.
This is the moment. Gotta one on my opponent.
Nick Wicked on the outside.
Gotta get it, the mindset. Gotta put it in motion.
You gotta be kidding me. TCI wins the million.
Game time, bet I'm coming in clutch. No hang time, man, they can't keep up. The game's on the line, seconds.
Lean back, get your picture taken.
Crowning moment on Canadian soil for Bulldog Hanover.
Motivated on focus.
A late push from Confederate. It's my show. Wins the big show.
This is the moment.
It's Saturday night at Woodbine Mohawk Park as we get set for 11 races this evening. Beautiful, beautiful conditions this afternoon. The sun was shining. The track should be perfect for tonight's card, which features the Open Pace, which will go as race number 9. Jeff Bratt's going to be with me for the entire program, and I'm going to bring Jeff in because tonight I wanted to introduce you to It's Saturday Night.
I
He's
know.
such a big, beautiful horse, but he's not competing tonight. Tonight, it's the return of his stablemate, Brew Hanover.
And last week, Chad's call, live from Mohawk Park. It's Saturday night. And because that horse is not here, I think it's a bit more of a better betting race. Because I think it's Saturday night probably would have been the prohibitive favorites when it came to doing some handicapping for this race. But you look at the overall makeup in here, and I kind of point this out a lot. I just don't think there's a real distinct leader in any of the open divisions that we have right now at Woodbine Mohawk Park, whether it's the Open Trotters, the Filly and Mare Open, or the Boys Open that we have taking place here today. Salzburg Victor, obviously victorious last time out, but did miss a week. And then you have this poor Dublin Dasher, a race as well time and time again in this series, and still seeking a breakthrough victory. But obviously that barn is going very, very well. Now, another storyline for today has to be the drop in temperature, because yesterday was a gorgeous day here. But unfortunately, as they called for, the temperature is going like this. Just it's going to be very, very cold coming up tonight. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. Just make sure the horses get as many nice warm-ups in as possible, because I think on nights like tonight, it's difficult. When you have an older horse that needs a nice warm-up, Elisa, it's challenging, because obviously you can warm them up a couple of races beforehand, but you know, if they get a little bit cold inside the paddock area and they get back into the swing of things, you know, you want to get them back moving a little bit more. So we'll see which horse look good on the racetrack tonight.
Yeah, and you know, the other thing, like you'd said, it was gorgeous all day today. We lost so much snow, which was really nice to kind of see some grass finally. But yeah, it's not over yet. However, it is the end of February, which means we've made it through the worst of it. And you know, when I was a kid, they always taught you March either comes in like a lion and out like a lamb. So I'm going to say it's going to come in like a lion.
Sure.
Hopefully, we get through a couple of rotten weeks, and then we're ready to go for the end of March with some hopeful spring weather. Alrighty, last night, who was the star of the card?
Mr.
Wow.
James McDonald back from vacation, and all I did was win 6, could have won 7, but unfortunately was unable to get up in the Filly and Mare Open. But his day got off to a great start with Vanya, who just got up in the last jump over Western Wish. In fact, if you look at the overall makeup of the races from last night, it was a natural hat-trick for James to kick off the program.
Yeah, this was a new Paul McDonnell trainee. Very impressive yesterday. She beat some nice horses, including Western Wish and L.A. Mickey, and even Sorcia Sealster, who rounded out the top 4. And then he comes right back in the second half of the early double with this interesting youngster from the Ben Hollingsworth barn. This is Pelican Bay.
Yeah, a little green, but one thing I was talking about this with Chad on the drive home last night. One thing I find with James is he's still able to teach horses something while winning at the same time.
That's true, yeah.
And it's a little bit green down the stretch, but got the victory nonetheless. This was a really easy win. Madam X was just simply too tough in this bunch. Good clocking, too, 152.
And she's been taking on the boys as well in the pop-up series. And then, of course, last night she goes in against her own sex, and she has no problem defeating the girls. That was race number 3 on the card. Then he let some other people win race number 4, but he came right back in race number 5, a trotting event. And this was a horse that he was sitting behind for the first time in a while. This was Kama, and they had taken the trotting hobbles off of this horse, so he went free-legged last night for a nice win.
And Chris Rogers usually drives the horse, but James was named, and anytime you get James in the bike, that's obviously a pretty good thing to see. And then we're going to fast forward a little bit later on in the program to race number 8, and this might have been the performance of the night. Let's enjoy. Just continues to impress here at Woodbine Mohawk Park. Last quarter, Lisa, 26-1.
And that's her 5th win in a row since coming here to North America, so she's been very, very impressive now. A perfect 5 for 5. Now, the Open, we let Bob McClure win that one with Angostura Hanover. But then the Seclusion, who was the free square on the card last night, everybody thought she would dominate, and she did. But I was really surprised with the return, $3.70.
Really good price on her. Came home with the last quarter in 29 seconds, but was kind of geared down a little bit in there. Beat one more bet and Miss Dutton, so Seclusion gives Mr. DuPont a victory on the program. And in fact, overall, he had a very good day at the at the office with a couple of wins. But here's a look at the big race from last night, the Philly Mare Open. And I got to give Angostura a lot of props for this performance, because Angostura Hanover, last time out, Lisa was able to have that ground-saving trip. Last night, Bob had to go first up with this horse.
And I wasn't aware that last start out was her very first win against Open Company. I thought she'd won the Open before, but now she's doing very well. She's won it now twice in a row. Last start, last night, you got $15.90 if you backed her, because everybody was playing the Jackie Moe horse Absolution. So a great night last night for James McDonald as we welcomed him back home here to Canada with those 6 wins. The Cullens obviously having a good night. They won a couple of races. Same with the DuPont Barn. Favorites did well on the program last night. And we have that carryover for the Jackpot High Five, very close to $50,000. 11 races in store for you this evening, and we do have the open pace as usual. That'll go as race number 9 on tonight's card, but first we'll get started in the opener, where we kick off the $75,000 guaranteed pick 5. First race on the program tonight, Jeff, is for 5-year-olds and younger. Non-winners are 3 or 62.5 life with a big field of 10. Can the Cullens kick off the night with a win with Blue Bar?
I think they can, and one thing that Travis has done a lot over the last 3 or 4 weeks is he's changed tactics with some horses, and it's paid off in a big way. And they did that last time with Blue Bar. So traditionally when you think of Blue Bar, you think of the horse being more forwardly placed more often than not. But last week what they did is they brought the horse from off the pace. And what's amazing about this performance, and the replay that we're going to show you right now, is I can't remember the last time that I saw a horse in the month of February come home the last quarter in 25 and change. That is something you see in July, in August, but you rarely see it when it's this cold and the track's maybe not at its prime. And essentially here we sweep the field, and I just think this opens up so many opportunities here tonight. Now I do kind of wish that he had drawn a little bit better here tonight, but clearly he's really good right now. He's been in this classification in the past and had some success. This is going to be a real race in which Travis has to plan this out to see how it's going to go with the outside draw. You've got others in this race that have drawn a little bit better, but just look at this horse moving late in this mile to get up to pull off the victory in here. And always takes money, Lisa. Always a bit of a fan favorite around these parts as well. If you're looking for some others in this spot, Long Shot Panic looks really good on paper. The problem with Long Shot Panic is this is a 5-year-old, and guess how many races this horse has won? 2. That's it, 2. And last time out was able to finish in the 3rd place position, losing by just about a half a length, and against Century Lucifer, so no shame in losing to that one by any means. Century Lucifer went down the road last time out, took a ton of money on that day, and was able to wire the field, and they might try to do exactly the same thing. And maybe the main danger for Blue Bar is the outside horse, but I just, post 10 just always...
Yeah.
I rarely go to post 10 unless I think they're an absolute, going to be a long shot without a chance, or they're just look so much the best on paper that they're going to be able to pull off the victory.
Well, the last time Blue Bar actually had the 9-hole, they did send him.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the plan's going to be tonight. I thought maybe Trinidad could be a horse that you could take a look at too, because he was second with a great final quarter too, 26-2 for him.
Yeah.
In behind Arby's Tenacious T, who you're going to see tonight.
Yeah.
I mean, he is kind of been the Saturday night's horse. You know, he keeps on winning. I think he's at 5 or 6 in a row.
Sort of like the Let's Enjoy of the Saturday nights. Yeah.
You got it.
Yeah.
But tonight, I think that streak could be in danger. We're going to talk about that a little bit later on. So here's the selections. It's a clean sweep for Blue Bar to kick off the opener on the program, which also starts off the $75,000 guaranteed pick 5. We're going to flip ahead to race number 4 on tonight's program, 4th race. Non-winners of 9,000 in their last 4, and you have a field of 10 in this spot. This features some good old horses. I mean, you got Cold Creek Queso, who had been competing in the Open. He's had some issues where they've had to scratch the horse because of weather, so he's missed some time here and there. But in against non-winners of 9,000 in the last 4, he should be able to get this one done and get a nice win with this tonight. But Uncle Shank could be a problem, and Miraculous Desby too, from the DuPont barn. We already talked about that barn. They had a good night last night on the program with a couple of wins. Gets the 9-hole here to work with this evening. But Cold Creek Queso on his best night, he should be able to beat this group.
That's the key, though, is he at his best right now, and I just don't know because I thought Jody gave the horse a perfect drive last time out and loomed into contention and kind of flattened out. Loose Panic was able to get up in the last jumper. I'll look at that replay a little bit later on in the program. As a matter of fact, Jack Panic finishes at second place position. Cold Creek Queso, I'm terrified of. I just don't want to play the horse at a low number. That's why I am going to go towards Uncle Shank. Uncle Shank lost to a dropper last time out, 2 in Poseidon Sealster. That's very, very tough when he can get into that category. And I thought that Uncle Shank raced very, very well. Chantal Mitchell, I feel a little bit bad for her because, she's been off to a slow start by her standards, but the horses, for the most part, have been racing quite well. She's got a bunch of seconds. 28 starts to have 8 second-place finishes. That's a little bit frustrating. That's when you go home and you just bang your head against the wall saying, what's it going to take? So I think the barn is very, very much due. But as we bring back in Elisa in here, the problem that I have with the Miraculous Desby is just the stale date, February the 7th.
Yeah,
that worries
February
me
the
a little
7th.
bit.
Yeah, but the barn is hot right now.
Very true.
I on the Uncle Shank thing, one thing we do know about him is that night that he made the uncharacteristic break back February the 7th, a lot of that was chalked up to him not getting enough time to go out and warm up before the race. And James said, it's just that he just wasn't happy about that. So,
Right.
if we can get him a good warm up, that's really what he needs. And of course, he's, getting a little older. He's 9 years old. You and I both need to stretch before we go for a walk, let
I
alone
need to
going
stretch
for
when
a run.
I'm taking a nighttime pee.
TMI, Jeff.
When you get older, he makes lots of trips to that bathroom. I'll tell you that much.
You might want to get that checked. But yeah, Uncle Shay. Randy said this last week too. He worked for Chantal, at some points in time, getting young horses ready. And like he said, it's been a tough go so far, but he believes that when they start happening, they're going to start happening in bunches. So we'll wish them all the best of luck here in the 4th race on the program. Lots of 5s, and Jeffy is going towards the 3, that being Uncle Shank. Alrighty, let's head over to race number 6. 6th race. Okay, here's the thing tonight with this race. This is interesting. It's how we kick off the late pick 5. Nominers at 12,000 in their last 4. Arby's Tenacious T has had 6 wins in a row. I've been really fortunate to get to watch him win all of these races. He just looks better and better every week, Jeff. But the issue is tonight. He's stepping up.
I know.
And a horse like Jordy N could be a big problem for him this evening. We'll have to see what he's made of because he's facing some older horses that have a lot of money beside their names and, good wins beside their names. What you're looking at is a horse who's made close to $500,000 from the Maneri outfit. He's coming in off of a 4th place finish behind Pacino Hanover, who again is no slouch. I think it's Jordy N. I put him down as a horse to watch last week. I put a star beside him. I think he's the horse to beat here tonight. But if Arby's Tenacious T, this is a horse with a lot of confidence.
I know.
And, we're going to see what he's made of here tonight.
I was really torn between Jack Panic and your horse, Jordy. I didn't know where to go. They last raced against one another, and the only reason why I went towards Jack Panic is I thought he had a bit more of a difficult trip last time, but he had to go first up. Your horse was 4th over on that occasion. And we'll show it to you right now, as a matter of fact. This is a brutal beat for Jack Panic. Just so tough. Lou's World just absolutely rips his heart out late in this race. But here we are now. We're going to come up first up in here, and Get Wings is kind of at this portion of the proceedings. And here we go with Jack Panic. And this Osceola Barn, they had a good night last night. Now, this was a bit of a surprise result with Jack Panic, though, too, because don't forget, he was 19-1 in this particular event last time out. And right now we're up front, and here comes, keep an eye on Elisa's horse, the one that's being Jordy on the far outside, who is absolutely flying too. And Lou's World's in between. Lou's World gets remotivated by your horse in here, if you see the replay in here, because Lou World comes back on in here as soon as he sees your horse on the outside. Look at this tough beat of the horse on the inside.
Oh, I know.
It reminded me a little bit of Western Wish last night.
Yeah.
Gets picked off desperately late. So I think more than anything, and obviously it happens a lot when you handicap these types of races, trip is going to be of the most importance in this field. Who can engineer that type of trip? And maybe you and I, we're not giving our Beast Tenacious T enough credit. Maybe he can move up in class and win yet again. I'm just worried about being overbet a little bit.
And he's facing
'cause
seasoned vets.
He is, and he's so good right now. And at some point, he's going to have a bad day at the office, and maybe it'll be tonight, but he might just have egg absolutely exploding on our face with a victory here tonight.
Yeah, he's been super, super cool. Listen, even if he grabs a check here tonight, they got to be really proud of what this horse has been able to accomplish. Jordiana, top selection for myself and Garnet. Kevin Plouch is going another direction. He's going towards the 6. Get Wings, interesting selection here as Jameson gets back behind this one. Jack Panic for Jeff, who comes in off of that heartbreak back on February the 21st. Let's go to the 7th. Alrighty, we bring Chad in on the Friday night program so we can talk about, qualifiers and what he's seen in qualifiers from the Friday. And he brought up a horse who qualified on February the 21st called Continuum. We watched that replay last night, and we are hopeful that this one will show us something special here this evening. He's actually listed at 7-2 morning line. Liquid is the horse who's been installed as the morning line favorite, and Liquid, I think, is due. I mean, this horse got in behind that McElroy, Jeff, and you saw him. He's like a dinosaur horse. He is an absolute Tyrannosaurus Rex when you see him out there. I think Liquid has a great opportunity to win tonight, but Continuum is a horse that caught Chad's eye.
Right, and we're going to take a look at that qualifier one more time in case you did miss it, because it was something else. The horse obviously was well prepared last season, it appeared, and didn't make it to the races, and now it's getting back into the swing of things in here. But here's a look at the replay for you right now. I just thought that Continuum was a little bit more polished than what Louis the Legend was on this particular occasion. So let's take a look at these two horses right now. So right now, getting to the front is our horse, it's being Continuum, who's just, I think, is a little bit more professional here. Way on the far outside, that's Paul McKenzie with Louis the Legend. Horse comes home really nice, as a matter of fact, in here, but just a little bit green, I thought. Whereas look at Nick Boyd in here, just quiet as a mouse right now, and I think he's very, very happy with the qualifier in here. I don't think the field, other than Liquid, has come up, super, super tough in this spot. So I think that Continuum based on that qualifier, and I like the. I'm going to show you the run out in here. This horse isn't slowing down on the run out either.
No.
Just keeps on going, and I love that too. No tiredness at all. Everybody else is kind of easing up a little bit in here, but Continuum to me looks really good. And I was just talking to Chad about this the other day about the pedigree with this horse. The horse actually had a really nice mare, and yet they didn't pay a ton of money for this horse either. So hopefully they found a bit of a diamond in the rough. Dr. Pete Johnson owns Angostura Hanover, so he's obviously on a bit of a high right now. So hopefully this one can keep that roll going in here. But I am terrified of Liquid for sure. And that horse, just a little bit more seasoned than what our horse is. Elisa, I've gone towards Continuum. You've gone towards whom in this
I
spot?
went to Liquid tonight.
Okay.
I think the issue for Continuum is, you look at that. The mare made a ton of money, right?
Yeah.
And then the horse is purchased at the Harrisburg sale for not a lot. Let's say it's about roughly 10 G's. And then missed the 2-year-old year. So, there has to have been something going on. Maybe the horse needed some time just to grow and develop. But here he is making his debut tonight as a 3-year-old. We'll be looking for that. Now, I also tossed in 10 Carat Garrett. You know why? That was a heartbreak of a loss for him last start out.
Number.
He was at almost 50-1. It was a photo finish, and Sable Ambush got the better of him. But I hope he learned something out of that. He's been picking up pieces here and there, whether it's here or at Flamborough. He's got to be considered a player in the top 4.
And I would give my leading man a bit of a mulligan for that last start. The draw was absolutely impossible. Doesn't get a whole lot better here tonight, but I still think this horse has got some ability as well.
Yeah, and that broken equipment line that he has from the 14th, that was a Murphy that broke on him. So, legit problem, I think, for a youngster when that piece of equipment is just kind of hanging around. So race number 7, again, tonight we'll see some maidens competing in that event as we go to race number 9, which is the on-track feature for the night. This is the open pace, 40 G's on the line, and it is the return of Brew Hanover, the stablemate of Dave Mineri. He's going to give it Saturday night a break this week. He's been performing, so well as of late, and it's kind of neat to have this embarrassment of riches when you have two really awesome open horses in the same outfit. And it's Brew Hanover who's on the comeback. Hasn't raced since Valentine's Day, since February the 14th. So, I guess the question mark is he tuned in and ready to go tonight? I'd have to think so from the barn he's coming from. But we saw such a great effort last week from both Pacino Hanover and Dublin Dasher. These two Cullen horses raced huge last week in the Open, and it wouldn't surprise me if one of them was able to kind of squeak themselves into the winner's circle. Same could be said for Salzburg Victor. You know, I love this guy. You know, he kind of shows you his cards when he's out there on the track. When he goes to the front, Jeff, and he has his tail right up in the air, you're like, he's saying, you ain't going to get past me. And that's what he did when he won the race on Valentine's Day, winning the Open. Did you go to Brew or did you go elsewhere?
I went Brew, but my thinking was when I was doing my handicapping, I think his A-plus game is better than anybody else's in this field, but is he at his A-plus right now? He might be at a B-plus right now, you know? So I've gone with him. I looked long and hard at Dublin Dasher, you know, really good right now. But the replay that we're going to focus in on is going to focus in on both Cullen horses that you spoke of in here, because Dublin Dasher had the pocket, whereas Pacino Hanover came from left field in this race. And Pacino Hanover came home with a sub-26 second last quarter as well. So here to look on the inside of racers in this spot. I don't believe this is the right replay. So we'll have to get the right replay here.
Nope, this is RB's Tenacious T. I can tell you that because I'm such a big fan.
Here we
go.
This is the right replay. There you go. See, they're just putting me to the test, that control room there. It's right now in the pockets. This is one by the name of Dublin Dasher, and third over is Pacino Hanover here in this spot. And you know what? It's Saturday night kind of drifts off the rail a little bit, and thus I thought that Dublin Dasher had every chance to go on by, but can't. Meanwhile, look at Eddie Hensley on the far outside. He is going to finish up absolutely full of pace in here with Pacino Hanover. I mean, it's Saturday night. It's so tough to get by.
He's a cool dude.
And it's tough. You know, I realize a lot of people say, like, the opening was there, the horse should have gone by. Some horses don't like going by on the inside. They just don't feel all that comfortable with it. And Dublin Dasher is obviously really, really good right now. So this is a very evenly type of field in here. You know what's interesting about Salzburg Victor, though, is... January the 31st was on a regular rotation, then misses 2 weeks, has that big race, and they've given the horse 2 weeks yet again here today. And I wonder if maybe they've kind of stumbled onto something right now, thinking, you know what, he had one of the best races we've seen with him on a 2-week rotation. Let's see if maybe that pans out yet again from post position number 1. And the horse that's been a little bit frustrating as of late, and it's because we have such high expectations placed on him, has been Tarasi.
Yeah, I know.
You know, and Tarasi just has not been himself. Every once in a while he shows up with these big races, but... the time that we just forget about him, he's going to bite us. And that worries me a little bit. But I did go towards Brew Hanover. What about you?
I did the same thing. And you know, with Tarasi, it's just because we're so used to seeing him dominate the Open.
Exactly.
And he just, so far this year, he's just not the same dude yet. But I'm sure he'll turn on the jets soon enough. Both Jeff and I landing on the 6 horse. And then Garnet and Kevin Ploucher, they're going to take a shot on this Cullen horse Dublin Dasher. And I can't blame him. Like I said, we showed you that replay. That was a huge final kick from these horses last week in the Open, and they are definitely worth a shot. Alrighty, what else do we have to talk about? What's our next one? Race number 11. Which is the Jackpot High 5, and that's really growing quickly. It's almost $50,000 in the carryover. Now, here, you know, last night you were all over these Osceola horses, and he had a good night.
He did.
But I think he has a great opportunity to win the last race here with moving on over. I'm really happy that you sent in this replay because he was locked in last start out.
Well, truth be told, the reason I did send this replay is because you told me about the race. So this is really an Elisa replay,
Jeff.
not so much as a Jeff replay in here, but moving on over, appropriately named because nobody was moving on over for this horse last time out, and did appear to have some go, and I'm going to show it for you right now. So right now, Doug is saying, oh boy, where do we go in here? Let's try this path, and maybe we'll get a little bit lucky and we'll get some sort of seam to develop. The problem is the horses in front of him just aren't going all that quickly. So Doug is like, uh-oh. I can't go left, I can't go right, and I really can't go forward because the horse in front of me's got no go at all. Can I do the split here? No, not really. So the good news is at least we were not overly taxed last week.
Nope.
But I think he probably came back to the barn as a little bit of an upset animal last week.
He might
because
have.
I never got a chance to strut my stuff. And you have that somewhat trouble trip last time out, and you squeeze into a slightly easier spot here tonight as well. So this is an Elisa play. Now, McElroy is clearly the horse to beat in here. We don't know how good he is. He did everything right last time out. He came home nicely. He's a big, massive horse, but we're trying to find a bit of a price play in this spot. And who knows about Sauble Ambush? Did nothing wrong first time out in that
That's
first
true
career
too.
start.
Yep, the Otis Hall trainee, Freight Days a Week. The Doug High Horse had a good second place effort last year out behind Count on Gord, who's a Chris Matthews racer that is very impressive so far. So I did go to moving on over. I have to admit, as soon as we saw that happen back last week, both Randy and I were like, "Oh, circle that one. That's
I got an
definitely
email
a
and
good
everything."
one." You did. That's how much I like this horse. I sent the I said, "Jeff, you gotta take a look at moving on over." He was locked in and live.
Yeah.
So we both are going to zoom in on the 7 here in race number 11 to wrap things up on tonight's program. We have some Pick 5 tickets to pass along your way as well. Jeff has done his homework. He's got an early and a late.
And you know what, Elisa? I'm the type of guy that I want to know right off the bat whether I'm going to have some fun tonight or if I should just go home. So I'm putting all my eggs into one basket here with Blue Bar. I just think based on what we saw last time out, it's based on how the barn's going right now. I'll put this one on top. Let's key that one. And then I'm going to spread a little bit. The second, I've got a whole bunch of horses. I kind of like this Hello Darkness in the second race.
Yes.
You know, that's a 2-time winner, taking on a bunch of horses that are seeking their initial victories for the most part.
Wait till you see him, too. He is jet black.
I was actually just talking with Phil about him last night, and he said he's still trying to get to know the horse a little bit. He hasn't had the horse all that long. Just taking over the training duties with that one. And the third, I got the 5, 6, and the 8s. I didn't. Century Inspector burned me last time out. It's, I find first-time Dougie, they wake up.
It's an interesting move, isn't it?
Up. The 4th, I got Uncle Shank and Coal Creek Queso. And then the 5th, I've got Wallace Hartley and Ginger Finney.
Yeah, you know what? Chantal's got a good shot to win a couple tonight if things turn around her way. What's your late pick?
So my late, my key in the late is going to be Continuum. Yeah, I'm taking a shot with that one. I had to find a key somewhere, and I actually have a key in the 10th as well.
I like your key there. Always be sweetest.
Yeah, in that class, the horses, and that Ron McDonald
This is a hot barn.
Holy smokes, are they ever good right now? I've
Very
spread
hot.
in the 8th. I'm using actually 3 in the open, which is a little bit unusual for me. Like I try to usually use like
I know it's
just
hard to
one or
zero
two,
in, though.
but I kind of couldn't leave anybody off in there. So there's a look at my late pick 5 ticket.
I got a late one too. So I've got Jordienne and what you're looking at in the 6th. Then I keyed Liquid. So you keyed Continuum, I keyed Liquid. And then 8th race, I spread quite a bit. This race is a little more wide open for me because its nominators are 2,500 in their last 4. I did key Brew Hanover, and then in the 10th race, I went with Forefather. He's an interesting story. I'll fill you in on that one a little bit later on. Always Be Sweetest and Can't Stop Lou from the Tierney outfit is going to be my last one there. Okay, plays of the night. We had a few of them come in last night. And I was giving you a hard time about one of them, but you got $3.70.
Paid not bad, $3.70. And then I was kind of giggling because Lisa left before the last one off yesterday, and her repeat player did not win.
I know. Don't worry. I'm watching in the car, Jeff. You know that.
Here's a look at our plays tonight. I'm going to take a shot with this Continuum. Going to be my best bet of the night. My watch lister is Blue Bar based on how well that horse raced in that most recent event. My wake-up prospect in race number 2 is going to be Hello Darkness. I think it's in an easier spot here tonight. And my multi-leg single is going to come up a little bit later on, that being Always Be Sweetest. I'm sure one of these will be at 2 to 5, and Elise will make fun of me.
No.
When you're picking 4 on a card, it's hard sometimes to
I
find
hear
them all.
you. I hear you. I hope Wallace Hartley gets Chantal Mitchell into the winner's circle. That's a nice little drop and pop for that one. Jordienne, he was on my horse to watch list last week. The Liquid, I've been waiting. I've made him probably one of my best bets a couple of times. So, the minute I take him off will be the minute he wins.
Yeah.
And this moving on over, we showed you the replay, and I even sent Jeff an email, even 5 days ago to say, Jeff, don't forget about this one. Ginger Tree Finney, a top side. This is a neat little horse. I like him tonight, too. He's in the 5th race, 7-2, the price. Jordienne for Ghislaine, and Get Wings for Kevin Plaucho. We haven't talked much about this one, but this horse is at
Kevin
5-1.
Sharp, too. I'm curious why he likes Get Wings so much, but I say that a lot about his picks, and more often than not, they race very, very well. And the thing that Get Wings did last time was tried to go down the road, and maybe they tried to change tactics tonight.
Yeah, all righty. Well, we have 11 races in store for you this evening from right here at WOMO. It is Saturday night. Good luck.
seaside! Down by the seaside!
Down by the seaside, sharp indeed.
Johnny Walker Black Label. The same, with notes of sweet, smooth coffee, rich fruit, and a touch of smoke. Tastes as good as it sounds.
First race field on parade. Number 1 is Long Shot Panic. Jody Jamieson drives for owner-trainer Wayne Smith. James McDonald drives 2 Magical Bet. Kyle Fellows trains for Dr. Peter Johnston and Craig Watkins. Here's Hans By, the 3. Mike Whalen in the bike. Walt Whalen trains for Christopher Nickel. Number 4, Zeb's Crafty gets J.R. Plant. Chris Rogers trains for Grant Kite. Number 5, Century Lucifer, Tyler Borth driving. Renee Dion trains for SNR Racing Stable Incorporated, Mark Trudeau, SMS Ventures Incorporated, M&L of Delaware. The 6, Hasselhoff, driven by Travis Henry, sent out by Carmen Asiello for Dan Serafian. Arthur Idlam, number 7, driven by Trevor Henry. Mackenzie Spence trains for the Cardinal Stable and Jean-Francois Leblanc. Here's 8, Trinidad, Louis Waugh aboard, Richard Larones in trains. Travis Cullen owns and drives. Number 9, Blue Bar, Jody Cullen, the trainer. And 10, Grin and Win, gets Bob McClure. Heather Pickett trains and owns with Marilyn and Stephen Gillard. That's your field for the Saturday opener. $75,000 is guaranteed in the early pick 5. Just 2 minutes left to wager.
First race on the program, you have met the field to kick off the guaranteed pick 5 guaranteed at $75,000 with this field of 10 pacers. Taking a look at the 1, Long Shot Panic. Now he's 0 for 7 so far this season, Jeff, but he's been knocking on the door as of late.
Boy, hard to believe that a horse in this category, has raced this well and has yet to break through for that 3rd career win. But definitely a contender, and the price is great, especially considering the fact the horse was favored last time out and raced very well to finish in the 3rd place position. There's a look at Magical Bet. This barn's been razor sharp right now. You got the right guy driving. Yep. I was actually talking with a good friend of mine last night, and she said to me, does James win the first race every night? It's well, more often than not he does, probably. But now the money, as expected, Lisa, is starting to pour in on the number 9, this being Blue Bar, who did change tactics in that most recent race.
Ooh, he looks good.
Looks very good on the racetrack right now. And as I said during the pregame show, anytime you can come home in a sub-26-second last quarter on a February night, that's pretty impressive. I just had this horse drawn post 6, post 5, I'd be ultra confident. So the draw might force Travis to be a little bit more aggressive here tonight.
Well, we were saying, too, he's had the 9-hole before, and when he did, he was aggressive off of the gate. You know what's interesting, too, when we look into our crystal ball for the night tonight, if things go the way that they could, the Cullens could be set up for a really big evening. Yeah,
surprise, surprise on a Saturday night. It's amazing. Like, I watch races, as you do, from all kinds of different locales. Travis will be at Flamborough some nights.
Yep.
He'll be here. They have horses pretty much for every category. The only guy that probably works harder than Travis Cullen is our track announcer, Chad Rosema. Especially when it snows, he gets that snowblower out there, fire it up.
I thought you were going to say somebody else's name. I thought, we have a replacement in here tonight? You can't be talking about me. Gee, come on, Brad. You know me well enough.
So, Chad, what do you think about Blue Bar in the draw tonight? Are you at all worried about that? I mean, just took a big hit yet again down to even money.
Well, he's got plenty of gate speed.
Yeah.
And so the fact that he did decide to race him from off the pace in the latest, a lot of times when they do that, even though he ended up coming up with a winning effort, next time they'll go out to a more aggressive approach, right? You can't be so aggressive with them every single start. And, I think that was kind of the reprieve for him in the latest, so I won't be surprised to see Travis set sail with him early.
Take it away, my friend. Have a great night.
All right, you guys too. We're set to go here, lining up behind the gate. Last call to play that early pick 5. Pool continues to climb. We know it's going to be at least $75,000. That's the guarantee. First of 11 on a pretty good looking night out here as we close out the month of February. Although a little chilly, we expect it. As we've been saying, warmer days are ahead. It's post time. Race number 1 as the field in behind the gate has reached the top of the stretch. Pacers pick up speed, and away they go. They're off and pacing and showing some hustle In the center, Zeb's Crafty and Century Lucifer with Blue Bar. Sprinting ahead here now for Cullen. There goes Blue Bar, utilizing that gate speed of his to try and overcome the 9 hole. He's wide to the opening turn, but trying to get to the front. Blue Bar at 6-5, driving on now ahead of Zeb's Crafty. Century Lucifer took a tuck in third. Arthur Idlam's going to get a seat fourth. In front of Long Shot Panic, the fifth one. Parked out, that is Trinidad. To the inside is Hansby. To the outside, Grin. And when he hasn't settled inside yet, that Magical Bed and Hasselhoff. 26 and 3 opening quarter speed, and Blue Bar puts it up, leads a length and a half at 3/8 in front of Zeb's Crafty, with Century Lucifer in third and Arthur Idlam fourth. Now fifth, Long Shot Panic. You couldn't sit in any longer. He was getting antsy, and Jameson calls on him to power ahead. And here comes Long Shot Panic after race favorite Blue Bar. So they go by the half now, 57-1, and Long Shot Panic takes over. Blue Bar in second, Zeb's Crafty to the inside third, Grin and Win yet to see the cones. He's an outside uncovered fourth. Inside, fifth Century Lucifer brought to the outside, second over Arthur Idlam. Following that one outside, Magical Bet to the inside as Hansby. Hasselhoff has picked up a position. Trinidad trails. 3/4 the next stop for leader Long Shot Panic, and Cullen's back out of the pocket here with Blue Bar. Another move for him. 125 and 1 3/4, and Blue Bar pokes ahead in front and takes over the lead again. Long Shot Panic trying to battle back. In behind is Zeb's Crafty as Plant tries to rally this long shot. Century Lucifer in between horses. Grin and Win starts to tire and drift. Blue Bar with a short lead, but Century Lucifer knifing through, dives up the inside. He's got Zeb's Crafty closing at him, but Borth has got the jump and the win. It's Century Lucifer in the Saturday opener over Zeb's Crafty and Blue Bar in 153 and 4. Five, 4, 9, 1 unofficial. First race winner is back in front of us. It's number 5, Century Lucifer. 4-year-old bay horse by Shadow Play is out of the Modern Art Dam Exotic Pleasure. Owners are S&R Racing Stable Incorporated, Mark Trudeau, SMS Ventures Incorporated, M&L of Delaware, Renee Dion Trains, and Tyler Borth. Engineered Century Lucifer's second winning trip of the year in 6 opportunities. 7th lifetime score. Century Lucifer in 153 and 4. Scores at 9-2. First race payouts, number 5, Century Lucifer, 1110, 590, and 350. Second was the 4, Zeb's Crafty, 890, 490. Third, number 9, Blue Bar, 260. $2 Exacta, 74.80. $1 Try, 106.95. The $1 Super, 415.70. We just went over the guarantee in the Pick 5 tonight. Pool just over $79,000. More than $12,000 of live money is going to move on to race number 2. Pacers pick up speed, and away they go. They're off and pacing and showing some hustle in the center. Zeb's Crafty and Century Lucifer with Blue Bar sprinting ahead here now for Cullen. There goes Blue Bar, utilizing that gate speed of his to try and overcome the 9-hole. He's wide to the opening turn, but trying to get to the front. Blue Bar at 6-5, driving on now ahead of Zeb's Crafty. Century Lucifer took a tuck in third. Arthur Idlam's going to get a seat fourth. In front of Long Shot Panic, the fifth one. Parked out, that is Trinidad. To the inside is Hansby. To the outside, Grin. And when he hasn't settled inside yet, that Magical Bet and Hasselhoff. 26-3 opening quarter speed, and Blue Bar puts it up, leads a length and a half at 3/8 in front of Zeb's Crafty, with Century Lucifer in third and Arthur Idlam fourth. Now fifth, Long Shot Panic. You couldn't sit in any longer. He was getting antsy, and Jameson calls on him to power ahead. And here comes Long Shot Panic after race favorite Blue Bar. So they go by the half now, 57-1, and Long Shot Panic takes over. Blue Bar in second, Zeb's Crafty to the inside third, Grin and Win yet to see the cones. He's an outside uncovered fourth. Inside, fifth, Century Lucifer brought to the outside, second over Arthur Idlam. Following that one outside, Magical Bet to the inside is Hansby. Hasselhoff has picked up a position. Trinidad trails. 3/4 the next stop for leader Long Shot Panic, and Cullen's back out of the pocket here with Blue Bar. Another move for him. 125 and 1 3/4, and Blue Bar pokes ahead in front and takes over the lead again. Long Shot Panic trying to battle back. In behind is Zeb's Crafty as Plant tries to rally this long shot. Century Lucifer in between horses. Grin and Win starts to tire and drift. Blue Bar with a short lead, but Century Lucifer knifing through, dives up the inside. He's got Zeb's Crafty closing at him, but Borth has got the jump and the win. It's Century Lucifer in the Saturday opener over Zeb's Crafty and Blue Bar in 153 and 4. Here's your first race rundown: 458, 217, 610, 3, 9 on the bottom. Race number 2 is where we head to next. In tonight's second race, we're all clear of changes. Post time in 13 minutes.
Download the Bet365 app, the only sports book available to bet on today's races, and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365.
When I think New Holland, the first word that would come to my mind, I would think success. I think without it, for me, the success isn't there.
Whenever you deal with somebody so long and they take care of you, you remember that.
New Holland builds products that will continue to evolve and make the farmer more efficient, that can produce food for the world.
Winback Farm of Canada is home to 9 outstanding stallions, including Metro-based champion Captain's Quarters, who's new in 2026. Beach Glass, winner of the Meadowlands Pace and the last great son of Some Beach Somewhere, his first yearling crop sells in 2026. Lawless Shadow, an O'Brien Award winner and Meadowlands Pace champion, whose first crop sells in 2026. The Great McWicked, the richest pacing stallion in harness racing history, and two-time O'Brien Award winner tattoo artist, a winner on every size track with many stakes and track records. Also standing Better Than Cheddar, Betting Line, My MVP, and Trixton. For more information, it's winbackfarm.com.
Give me a hot pink cosmopolitan and some drama.
Give me a kettle one soda with a twist.
Give me a party, an espresso martini, and a room full of strangers.
Give me a cocktail with Kettle One vodka.
I
Field for race 2 on parade. The one is Corona Sealster. Tyler Borth drives. Vic Putty trains and owns with Michael Morocco. Phil Hudon driving number 2, Hello Darkness. He also trains for Pat McHale, Len McHale, and John Boschman. Number 3, Always Too Hot, driven by Trevor Henry's, owned and trained by Kathy Chikeen. The 4, Panic Ray, gets Bob McClure at the lines. JF McGuire training for Yves Raymond. Travis Cullen, the driver of number 5, Man Destiny. Jody Cullen trains for A1 Stable and Megan Sweet. Mike Kwinowski owns and trains number 6, Theo's Buddy, with Jody Jamieson between the wheels. Number 7, Bar Down Brisbee, driven by Daryl Thiessen, is owned and trained by Russ Ellis. The 8 is Woodmere Robbie, Louis Waugh aboard. Beau Ford trains for Donna Van Meer. And the 9 is Son of a Joe, Doug McNair aboard. Julie Walker trains for Jamie Doig. That's your field race number 2. The Pacers are up to the gate in 4 minutes.
So second race on the card as we take a look at 5-year-olds and younger non-winners of 1. Now this horse has been really frustrating for me, Jeff. He can be a bit of a hanging type, right? We see those in thoroughbreds, same thing as you see over here. He just doesn't want to go by that last horse. But he's always in the mix of things as well. Now, last week, Randy said to me, he'll get it done eventually, but I'm a little shy on him, which is why I put him in the second spot and used the 3 on top instead.
He is the favorite in the doubles too, Elise, a decisive favorite at $53. The second choice of the doubles is Always Too Hot, so returning $76.30. This horse kind of summarizes the year that poor Vic Putty's had this year. A bunch of second place finishes. The horse are racing well, just not quite good enough, and I'm going to take a shot with this one right now. This is Hello Darkness. So this is a 2-time winner who last raced against Non-2, probably needed the race. Now we're dropping against Non-1. The only thing that worries me is I just don't know how long Phil's had a chance to kind of analyze the horse and do his own training with the horse, but a beautiful looking animal, as you can see right there. You landed on whom in this spot?
I landed on the 3. Now, Always Too Hot is the Chikeen horse, and this one makes the 3rd start in the form cycle. But the winner that he faced last start out was a horse by the name of The Ready, and The Ready was ready to fire before the gate. You could see that horse's ears were straight up, and you knew that he was going to dominate in that event. So I think he just hooked up with a horse who was ready to go last start. And PL Taco's no slouch, the second place finisher, so he doesn't have to worry about those two. I feel like it could be his turn, and you could get him at a little bit of a price. He's currently at 8-1. There is a first-time starter in the mix too, Jeff, and that's the 6, Theo's Buddy.
Yeah, 4-year-old just now making it the races for Mike, and Mike is the owner of the horse as well too, so he's been able to be very, very patient with this one. The qualifier, the time's not all that quick, but it is just a qualifier nonetheless, and it was not all that bad. But you look at the overall makeup of the tote board right now, very much cold at 15-1. The surprise to me on the board is the 5. Third choice in the double, Will Pays. I guess a lot of people are thinking, well, you know what? He probably needed that last start off the layoff. He was on the vets list due to sickness after the snowshoe, so he just now might be getting back into the swing of things. But you know what? I'm kind of with you. This one at 2-1. If Corona Sealster wins, I'll let Corona Sealster beat me.
Yeah, exactly. I said he's been kind of bugging me lately. Son of a Joe, though, the 9 horse at 7-1. Now, I often like this when Julie Walker, lets Bert kind of get him good and ready, and then he passes it over to Doug McNair. And you were just mentioning, too, first time Dougie can be a good play.
He can. And again, this one's in the same situation as Hello Darkness. In fact, comes to the same race. Non-2, now you get into a non-1. That's a massive drop down in class here coming up in this spot.
Alrighty, horses going behind the gate for race number 2, the second half of the early double. Good luck.
Yes, final call to wager as the starters got the wings open. Field for race number 2, taking up their positions. Group of 9, 2-1 inside favoritism to Corona Sealster, who's been knocking on the door through the first couple of seasons of his career, but yet to break through just yet. Maybe tonight's the night. Center of the gate, Man Destiny, getting plenty of attention in his second start back after whatever happened to him in the snowshoe. And to the inside, Panic Ray is at 5-1. We've got a field of 9 all lined up for race number 2. Here they come. Away they go. We're off and pacing. And eyeing a quick start. Man Destiny, along with Bar Down Brisby and Woodmere Robbie on the outside. Now inside speed here from Hello Darkness and Corona Sealster. Even McNair's onto the scene now with Son of a Joe. So they're 5 wide heading into that opening turn. Now things start to settle a bit as Hudon takes over to the opening bend with Hello Darkness. Bar Down Brisby able to get to the pylons as well. Woodmere Robbie, though, still parked out for now. Corona Sealsters to the inside 4th. Might be able to drop Woodmere Robbie in front of him. And then looking for a seat in 5th. That's Son of a Joe, 27-2 opening quarter. Man Destiny, after initially looking like he was going to leave out of there, he avoided the early rush and ended up getting away 6th in front of Always Too Hot. The last pair, Panic Ray, and the trailer, the first-time starter, Theo's Buddy. Hello Darkness and Phil Hudon at 8-1 lead the way in front of Bar Down Brisby, with Woodmere Robbie still outside with Son of a Joe following him second over. Inside is Corona Sealster saving ground, brought to the outside from the back. Henry on the move with Always Too Hot to the inside of that one. Man Destiny as they went by the half in 57-4. Then it's 3 more lengths to Panic Ray, another length to Theo's Buddy. 3/8 of a mile to go for 8-1 shot. Hello Darkness. Bar Down Brisby at a 40-1 price, starting to angle out of the 2-hole, and Thiessen is calling on this one to pick it up. A length and a half behind leader Hello Darkness now to 3/4 in 126-4. So as they make their way off of this final turn, Hello Darkness turns for the long Mohawk Park stretch with a lead of about 2. Bar Down Brisby all out in pursuit second. Corona Sealster trying to close out a little wide, but now starts to straighten up and close in here for Borth. Following that one is Always Too Hot from the back to the inside is Son of a Joe, and from well back, Panic Ray. Here's Corona Sealster getting up late, and Corona Sealster gives Borth the sweep of the early double. Corona Sealster over long shot, Bar Down Brisby, and Always Too Hot. Mile time 156-1. One 7-3-4 unofficial. Race 2 winners back in front of us. It's the one, Corona Sealster. 3-year-old Bay Gelding by Big Jim is out of the Real Artist stamp. Circle the Page. Vic Putty owns and trains. Michael Morocco shares on the ownership. And Tyler Borth. Back-to-back to start the Saturday card. Corona Sealster with the maiden breaking win. He did it in start number 18. With 6 of those coming this season. 156-1, the initial mark on the resume of Corona Sealster. Here are the payouts. Number 1, Corona Sealster, 710 410 280. Second number 7, Bar Down Brisbee, 23 29 70. Third number 3, Always Too Hot, 430. The $2 exacta, $125.10. $1 try, $343.05. The $1 super paid $3,801.15. $2 early double, a Tyler Borth double, $53. 3,400 plus still live in the pick 5, going to the next leg, race 3. Away they go. We're off and pacing. And eyeing a quick start. Man Destiny, along with Bar Down Brisbee and Woodmere Robbie on the outside. Now inside speed here from Hello Darkness and Corona Sealster. Even McNair's onto the scene now with Son of a Joe. So they're 5 wide heading into that opening turn. Now things start to settle a bit as Hudon takes over to the opening bend with Hello Darkness. Bar Down Brisbee able to get to the pylons as well. Woodmere Robbie, though, still parked out for now. Corona Sealsters to the inside 4th. Might be able to drop Woodmere Robbie in front of him. And then looking for a seat in 5th. That's Son of a Joe, 27-2 opening quarter. Man Destiny, after initially looking like he was going to leave out of there, he avoided the early rush and ended up getting away 6th in front of Always Too Hot. The last pair, Panic Ray, and the trailer, the first-time starter, Theo's Buddy. Hello Darkness and Phil Hudon at 8-1 lead the way in front of Bar Down Brisbee, with Woodmere Robbie still outside with Son of a Joe following him second over. Inside is Corona Sealster saving ground, brought to the outside from the back. Henry on the move with Always Too Hot to the inside of that one. Man Destiny as they went by the half and 57-4. Then it's 3 more lengths to Panic Ray, another length to Theo's Buddy. 3/8 of a mile to go for 8-1 shot. Hello Darkness. Bar Down Brisbee at a 40-1 price, starting to angle out of the 2-hole, and Thiessen is calling on this one to pick it up. A length and a half behind leader Hello Darkness now to 3/4 and 126-4. So as they make their way off of this final turn, Hello Darkness turns for the long Mohawk Park stretch with a lead of about 2. Bar Down Brisbee all out in pursuit second. Corona Sealster trying to close out a little wide, but now starts to straighten up and close in here for Borth. Following that one is Always Too Hot from the back to the inside is Son of a Joe, and from well back, Panic Ray. Here's Corona Sealster getting up late, and Corona Sealster gives Borth the sweep of the early double. Corona Sealster over long shot, Bar Down Brisbee, and Always Too Hot. Mile time 156-1. We've got a delay in the rundown from race number 2. We look ahead to race 3, which kicks off tonight's early pick 4. No changes in the opening leg. 14 minutes to post. Here's that delayed rundown. 153-486-297 on the bottom. Third race field on parade. Number 1 is Major Fern Co. Tyler Borth will drive. Vic Putty trains for Limco Incorporated. Number 2 in the field, Pipe Wrench Charlie. Ron and Travis Cullen own. Jody Cullen trains. Travis is the driver. Jody Jamieson driving 3 Better Be Going for trainer Paul Cord. Owners are Jesse Dragoyevich and Scott Emmon. The 4 HF Pan Shadow, Travis Henry in the bike. Carmen Asiello trains for Dan Serafian. Number 5, JJ Xavier gets Louis Waugh between the wheels. Kyle Fellows for John McMillan. Sometime, Somewhere, number 6, driven by Jarrah Plon, is trained by Brett Lester. Abianco Holdings Limited owns. Number 7, Toronto. Ed Hensley drives for trainer Ashley Hensley. Ed and Ashley, the owners. And 8, Century Inspector, driven by Doug McNair. Carmen Asiello training for Dan Serafian. It's your field race 3. We kick off tonight's early pick 4 next in 4 minutes.
Well, so far it's been the night for Tyler Borth. He swept the early double, taking the opener with Century Lucifer, and then winning race number 2 with Corona Sealster. And now we'll move on to race number 3, and he will be driving the 1-horse Major Fernco here for Vic Putty. Now, this horse is at a big price right now, 39-1. Favoritism and a big favorite here is Sometimes Somewhere, and this horse comes in off a second place effort, the 5-horse JJ Xavier, who finished 3rd last start out. He had a big mile back on February the 7th when he went in 52 and change, came back and was able to go even faster, in his race the week before. So, he's certainly a horse who's on the up and up right now with a couple of nice wins.
Well, Century Inspector is a great number right now, too, at odds of 6-1. He cut it last time out. Sometime Somewhere went first up. Second over was Better Be Going, and third over was JJ Xavier. So it's kind of pick your poison which of those horses you want to try and pick. Ghislaine Paquette's early pick 4 ticket. He's going to go 3 deep in here with the 5, 6, and the 8. I'm going to give the nod here to Sometime Somewhere. I thought really grinded out a very good performance on that day. And I just think if Century Inspector gets a little bit of pressure tonight, which might not happen, that maybe this horse might be able to capitalize with maybe a second over trip here this evening instead of having to go first up. But certainly at even money, the 5 I would say is a little bit overbet right now, JJ Xavier.
The 4, HF's Pan Shadow, if we could get a look at him, that would really be helpful. This is a horse that I've been kind of playing along with this season, Jeff, and he's kind of a short-strided individual, and you see how he's just, a little short-strided here as he gets ready to go behind the gate. And sometimes, we'll find that he does this, and then next thing you know, he gets out on behind the gate and he starts to open up that stride. But as of late, he's been a little disappointing. So now he's going to come here tonight at odds of 6-1 for Carmen Asiello.
I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt for the February 14th race. I just think was probably in a little bit too tough on that occasion, although it took a lot of money on that day.
He did. That was the mandatory payout, I think.
And I wonder, in hindsight, if that race maybe took a bit of a toll on him because he was parked a long, long time in that mile. And as you just saw there, not the biggest of horses either, right? So... I'm willing to give him a couple of excuses in here. I wouldn't be surprised if he bounces back with a bit of a better performance here today. And he's a great price right now at 6-1.
This horse you're seeing on your screen right now, Better Be Going, a 10-year-old, hails from the Paul Court barn, and he can't knock the outfit right now.
Yeah, and Paul's very loyal to Jody, and Jody could have a good night with Paul here tonight. And, surprise, surprise, Paul's had this horse in fine form so far this season as well. Was able to take advantage of the pop-up series, and then last time out, not a bad race. Second over, just got a little bit tired late in that event. I was a little bit disappointed. Let's hope we get a bit of a better effort here tonight. But it's interesting how all horses are very unique. Like, for example, Jody put that horse behind the gate early just to try and calm that horse down a little bit prior to heading out towards the starting position.
And some of the others, taking their time, finding their position behind the gate. Race number 3 is where we kick off the first pick 4 of the night. Good luck.
Hey, still have a little bit of time to play along. 24,000 plus in that pool right now, continuing to climb. Group of 8 claiming Pacers line up for the start of that early pick 4. 6-5 on number 5, JJ Xavier. Been rock solid in the last handful of starts. Was a winner here. 2 back. 5-2 on Sometime Somewhere. And 4-1 outside on Century Inspector went down the road last week. It's post time for race number 3 as the field has now reached the top of the stretch. There they go. They're off in pacing for tonight's third, and Century Inspector is going to drive ahead now to grab the lead again. Century Inspector right to the front for McNair. They're too wide in behind him with HF Panshadow to the inside and JJ Xavier the one parked, looking for a seat in third perhaps. Wide now going around him in the opening turn. Plant was sometime somewhere. So as JJ Xavier takes a seat along the pylon, sometime somewhere is going to go after the lead. Off stride on the front. Century Inspector made a break. So he's going to be taken out of harm's way as sometime somewhere takes over. 27-3 the first quarter. HF Panshadow second. JJ Xavier third. It's Major Fernco who's tracking in fourth. In front of Pipe Wrench Charlie, the fifth one. And then Better Be Going. Two in front of Toronto. And still on the gallop and trailing now, that is Century Inspector. Sometime, somewhere, the leader a length and a half coming up to the midway point in front of HF Panshadow, who rides the pocket. JJ Xavier, 3-5, big favorite, about 3 off the lead right now as they go by the half in 56-3. Major Fernco, fourth. Pipe Wrench Charlie's the fifth one, and perhaps being brought to the outside as Toronto's on the move from the back. To the inside is Better Be Going, and a break of about 6 to Century Inspector. Sometime, somewhere, though, now getting away by 4 lengths heading into this final turn, with HF Panshadow his closest rival. So JJ Xavier, he can't wait any longer. To the outside he comes, and Wah will try to start up. JJ Xavier takes over second and sets his sights on sometime somewhere. 3 quarters was 1:24-2, and Plant going to work. JJ Xavier making up good ground here, and he's only a half length away. And now JJ Xavier on the outside. Looks like he's got sometime somewhere collared, and JJ Xavier was good to go as he sweeps by. He'll win by a couple. Sometime somewhere second best. Toronto was third with Pipe Wrench Charlie fourth in 1:52-3. Five, 6, 7, 2 unofficial. Number 5, JJ Xavier makes his way now back in front of us after capturing tonight's third race. JJ Xavier, a bay gelding, 7 years old, by Tobago Keys out of the Ameripan Gigolo Dam JJ Mistress. John McMillan owns. Kyle Fellows, the winning trainer. Louis Waugh in the bike for the winning effort. It's JJ Xavier's third of the year in 7 tries. 31st lifetime score. Tonight a 152-3. He goes over $250,000 in lifetime earnings. Third race payouts, number 5, JJ Xavier, 340, 220, 210. Second, number 6, Sometime Somewhere, 320, 270. Third was the 7, Toronto, 650. 760 for the $2 exacta, the dollar try, 48.10, $1 super, 430.45, $2 double, 19.50, $1 pick 3, $40.80. Early pick 4 pool, more than 43,000 wager, just under 20,000 of live money moves on. And the pick 5 update, 2 legs to go, still more than 1,500 going strong. There they go. They're off in pacing for tonight's third, and Century Inspector is going to drive ahead now to grab the lead again. Century Inspector right to the front for McNair. They're too wide in behind him with HF Panshadow to the inside and JJ Xavier the one parked. Looking for a seat in third, perhaps. Wide now going around him in the opening turn. Plant was sometime, somewhere. So as JJ Xavier takes a seat along the pylon, sometime, somewhere is going to go after the lead. Off stride on the front. Century Inspector made a break. So he's going to be taken out of harm's way as sometime, somewhere takes over. 27-3 the first quarter. HF Panshadow second. JJ Xavier third. It's Major Fernco who's tracking in fourth. In front of Pipe Wrench Charlie the fifth one. And then Better Be Going. Two in front of Toronto. And still on the gallop and trailing now, that is Century Inspector. Sometime, somewhere, the leader a length and a half coming up to the midway point in front of HF Panshadow, who rides the pocket. JJ Xavier, 3-5, big favorite, about 3 off the lead right now as they go by the half in 56-3. Major Fernco, fourth. Pipe Wrench Charlie's the fifth one, and perhaps being brought to the outside as Toronto's on the move from the back. To the inside is Better Be Going, and a break of about 6 to Century Inspector. Sometime, somewhere, though, now getting away by 4 lengths heading into this final turn with HF Panshadow his closest rival. So JJ Xavier, he can't wait any longer. To the outside he comes, and Wah will try to start up. JJ Xavier takes over second and sets his sights on Sometime Somewhere. 3/4 was 1:24-2, and Plant going to work. JJ Xavier making up good ground here, and he's only a half length away. And now JJ Xavier on the outside. Looks like he's got Sometime Somewhere collared, and JJ Xavier was good to go as he sweeps by. He'll win by a couple. Sometime, somewhere, second best. Toronto was third with Pipe Wrench Charlie fourth in 1:52-3. Finish order from the third race. Top down, 5, 4, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 8 on the bottom. Fourth race to start tonight's pick 6 is next, where number 7, Stonebridge Helios, goes blinkers to open and adds a Murphy blind on the right side. Post time is 10 minutes away. Field for the fourth race on parade. Number 1, Rapasso gets Tyler Borth in the bike. Dean Nixon trains for Rick Burks. Number 2, Convoy 22, driven by Damian McClellan. Kyle Boston's trains and owns with Going for Broke stable. There's 3, Uncle Shank. James McDonald in the seat. Chantel Mitchell trains for Kevin Harvey. Doug McNair driving 4, Tricky McWicky. Mike Vanderkamp trains for Stu and Patricia Bolander. The 5, Coal Creek Queso, driven by Jody Jameson. Dan Walker trains for Coal Creek Standardbred. Number 6, Ethereum Party, driven by Trevor Henry. Jake Roberts trains and co-owns with Steve Adams. Bob McClure driving 7, Stonebridge Helios for trainer Paul Cord and owners Jesse Dragoyevich and Scott Emmon. The 8, Bold Spirit, Billy Davis at the lines. Dwayne Marfisi trains and owns with Roy Sproxton, Harbhajan Singh Dillon, and Daryl Kaplan. The 9, Miraculous Desby, driven by J.R. Plon, is trained by Jacques Dupont for Ecurie CSL. And here's number 10, Code Cracker. Travis Cullen for trainer Jody Cullen and owner A1 Stable. It's your fourth race. Field starting tonight's Pick 6 wager in 4 minutes.
Well, some horses in the fourth race did miss their last start. For example, the 1 horse was scratched as a result of, it was a judge's scratch. The 4 horse Tricky McWicky, he was scratched out of his last race on February the 24th. He was a transportation scratch. So, a couple of horses have missed their regular rotation, but right now the favorite is Coal Creek Queso. Now, he had been competing against the Open. He missed some time too, Jeff, due to the weather. We were able to, when we had that bad weather and it was, minus 17, minus 20, we were able to let horsemen scratch without penalty. And this horse was a scratch on a couple of occasions due to that cold weather.
I thought he was in a great spot last time, got a great trip, engineered courtesy of Jody, and then come crunch time, just got out sprinted. So when you have a horse that's struggling, what's the best cure? Just keep dropping down in class, and that's exactly what they're doing with this one. I'm going to try and beat the horse, though. I'm going towards Uncle Shank in here. A loss to a dropper last time out in Poseidon Steelster. I feel a little bit bad for poor Uncle Shank. Every time the horse races, is racing against horses that, more often than not are in against open competition. But, Uncle Shank, we saw the Vic Putty barn pick up a much-needed victory, and it'd be great to see this barn pick up a victory as well. But clearly the betting public infatuated with the horse who makes a very nice pre-race appearance here tonight, and that is Coal Creek Queso. So this is the start of the Pick 6. Hypothetically, if the 3 or 5 do not win this race, it would be considered a major upset because the third choice, at least, is all the way at 9-1.
Yeah.
This is the one from the Jacques Dupont outfits, who's obviously having a great go of it as of late. The only thing that worries me about Miraculous Desby is that stale date.
Well, he tried the Open, though, a few starts ago when Brew Hanover was victorious. He raced against Jabberwocky, and he was ready to fire the day that Jabberwocky was the winner. And, last start out, he ends up finishing in the 6th place spot. He's been taking a lot of the public support. Just look at all the races this season. He hasn't been the favorite only one time. So, he has been taking quite a lot of the public support, but not tonight at 9-1. They are taking it. Oh, this one's feeling spunky and ready to go. This is Convoy 22 for Kyle Boston's. Now, he was second last start out behind Blue Bar, which would have been a reference for us, but Blue Bar was a 3rd place finisher in the opener.
Yeah, so not like what I'm seeing, obviously, body language-wise with the 2, but that's just the way it goes sometimes. A little bit keyed up in here as we take a look at Billy Davis, and he will drive a Bold Spirit here. But this is a wake-up prospect. Gets into a bit of an easier spot here today. That should maybe help out the situation. But clearly, if the 5 does lose this race, it would be considered a big-time upset. Although I think the 3's got a shot to beat him.
Oh, Bold Spirit is the horse who won back on February the 14th when we had that jackpot high 5 and the mandatory carryover. And Randy absolutely loved him that night. So he didn't let Randy down. Next start out, he had to move up, but now he's coming back down to that class that he was able to win against back on the 14th. We are behind the gate for race number 4 to kick off the Pick 6.
Field of 10 lining up for the 4th race. To kick off that wager, heavily favored in the center. The 5, Coal Creek Queso, as the crews talked about. It's his 2nd start removed from the top Open level. And he gets another drop down from last week's class. So he'll try to take full advantage of the opportunity. Uncle Shank, he's no slouch. Getting play as well at 2-1. Those are the clear top 2 choices. And then the next closest, we go to the outside, number 9, Miraculous Desby at 8-1. It's post time for race number 4. Horses and drivers for the 4th all lined up. Here they come. 6 and 10 gaps slightly, and away they go. They're off and pacing. And Cold Creek Queso, along with Tricky McWicky. And from the outside, Bold Spirit, that 3, sprint out of there, going after for early command. It's going to be Cold Creek Queso. Crosses over in front of Tricky McWicky, but he's going to allow Bold Spirit, who's parked out, to drive on and take over. Away 4th, Uncle Shank. Outside of 5th, Miraculous Desby looking for a seat. Rapasso. Borth grabs a big hold, trying to let him in. Then Convoy 22's tracked by Ethereum, Party, Stonebridge, Helios, and Code Cracker. Bold Spirit, long shot leader in the backstretch, but not for much longer, because here's the 1-2 favorite back out, and Cold Creek Queso. Let him go to the lead, and now he takes over. 27-2 the opening quarter. Cold Creek Queso leads again. Bold Spirit in 2nd. Tricky McWicky 3rd. Uncle Shank the 4th one. Miraculous Desby to get in 5th. To the inside, Rapasso saving some ground. Then Convoy 22 follows him from 7th. Staying in 8th is Ethereum Party. Starting up from the back. McClure on the move with Stonebridge. Helios. Code Cracker will follow him. 55-3. They were down to the half. Cold Creek Queso leads a length. Bold Spirit in 2nd. Uncle Shank brought to the outside, and he begins to accelerate after the favorite now takes over 2nd. He's a length away outside. 2nd over 4th. Nice tripping worked out by Planta. Miraculous Desby. Back in 5th inside is Tricky McWicky, improving up to 6th. 3rd over Stonebridge. Helios 125 and 3 3/4. Cold Creek Queso the leader. Uncle Shank's been applying some pressure. He's only to the wheel, not even now. In behind the leader, Bold Spirit. Cut off cover is Miraculous Desby, starting to close. Cold Creek Queso, though, still pacing hard on top here for Jamison. And Cold Creek Queso will deliver as the 1-2 choice. He'll win by 2. Inside, holding on to 2nd, Bold Spirit from Miraculous Desby, and 153-2. Unofficial 5897. Winner of the 4th, back in front of us now, number 5, Cold Creek Queso. 7-year-old bay gelding by Better Than Cheddars from the Mach 3 Dam Mach Beth's Lady. Cold Creek Standardbred owns, Daniel Walker trains, Jody Jamison in the bike for the winning drive. Cold Creek Queso with his second of the year and 6 opportunities, 21st lifetime score, 153-2 for the big favorite Cold Creek Queso. Fourth race payouts, number 5, Cold Creek Queso, 310, 210, 210. Second, number 8, Bold Spirit, 1030 and 790. Third, number 9, Miraculous Desby, 480. $2 exacta, 36.30. The dollar try paid 101.55. $1 super, $630.20. $2 double, $5. Dollar pick 312.80. More than 12,000 still live in the pick 4. Pick 5 just under 1,000 in live money, heads to the final leg. Tonight's pick 6 wager, more than 7,600. Put into the pool with more than 5,500 live money. Moving on to race number 5. Horses and drivers for the 4th all lined up. Here they come. 6 and 10 gaps slightly, and away they go. They're off and pacing. And Cold Creek Queso, along with Tricky McWicky. And from the outside, Bold Spirit, that 3, sprint out of there, going after for early command. It's going to be Cold Creek Queso. Crosses over in front of Tricky McWicky, but he's going to allow Bold Spirit, who's parked out, to drive on and take over. Away fourth, Uncle Shank. Outside of fifth, Miraculous Desby looking for a seat. Rapasso. Borth grabs a big hold, trying to let him in. Then Convoy 22's tracked by Ethereum, Party, Stonebridge, Helios, and Code Cracker. Bold Spirit, long shot leader in the backstretch, but not for much longer, because here's the 1-2 favorite back out, and Cold Creek Queso. Let him go to the lead, and now he takes over. 27-2 the opening quarter. Cold Creek Queso leads again. Bold Spirit in second. Tricky McWicky third. Uncle Shank the fourth one. Miraculous Desby to get in fifth. To the inside, Rapasso saving some ground. Then Convoy 22 follows him from seventh. Staying in eighth is Ethereum Party. Starting up from the back. McClure on the move with Stonebridge. Helios. Code Cracker will follow him. 55-3. They were down to the half. Cold Creek Queso leads a length. Bold Spirit in second. Uncle Shank brought to the outside, and he begins to accelerate after the favorite now takes over second. He's a length away outside. Second over fourth. Nice tripping worked out by Planta. Miraculous Desby. Back in fifth inside is Tricky McWicky, improving up to sixth. Third over Stonebridge Helios. 125 3 3/4. Cold Creek Queso the leader. Uncle Shank's been applying some pressure. He's only to the wheel, not even now. In behind the leader, Bold Spirit. Cut off cover is Miraculous Desby, starting to close. Cold Creek Queso, though, still pacing hard on top here for Jamison. And Cold Creek Queso will deliver as the 1-2 choice. He'll win by 2. Inside, holding on to second, Bold Spirit from Miraculous Desby, and 153-2. Fourth race, finish shorter, top down is 7-10-5, 6-1-9, 4-2-3, 8 on the bottom. Fifth race coming up next. Scratch number 4, Ario Hanover, vet sick. 15 minutes to post time.
In harness racing, there are options when it comes to owning a standardbred racehorse. You can own the entire horse, or you can share the horse with a few partners, or you can share with a lot of partners in a fractional ownership stable. Whatever option you choose, you'll find the experience of owning a racehorse connects people to horses and to one another in truly remarkable and sometimes unexpected ways. To learn more about standardbred racehorse ownership in Ontario, reach out to connect with someone who can help you get started on your journey.
Love horse racing? HPIBet.com is Canada's leader in online horse betting. Access thousands of live races from hundreds of tracks worldwide instantly. Enjoy the most advanced betting tools like AI Smart Picks and exclusive cashback rewards you won't get anywhere else. Join today and get up to $100 in free bets. Get the ultimate horse betting experience with HPIBet.com.
So race number 5, non-winners of 6,000 in their last 4, does have a scratch. We take the 4-horse Aereo Hanover out. That horse is a 6 scratch from this race. But there's some interesting notes that I made for this one, Jeff. I mean, for example, if you were with us last weekend, you were here to see Gentle on My Mind get that big priced victory back on February the 21st. And in fact, the horse who was second, who gave us a massive exactor of over $2,200, is here too tonight. That's the 8 Hungry Man. So there's 3 and the 8. Look at this, 3 horses 24 to 1, 8 horses 30 to 1. So, you know, they come in off monster efforts last start out, and they are still at big prices here. I don't know if you saw, the exactor was $2,200, but the super, and I believe was something like $22,000. It was an immense amount of money. The other thing that's interesting is that the 7 opens up as the massive favorite here. Now, I had made a note beside him, and I'm mad at myself for not putting him up in the top spot, but I had made a note beside him last start saying if he drops, he was very good and he can be dangerous, and he is dropping from non-winners of 9,000 into face non-winners of 6,000 tonight.
Well, don't be too upset about not picking the horse, because there's plenty of us on the desk that can pick 4 to 5 shots, and I'm going to pick this one in here, despite the fact the price is extremely low in here. Just the reclassification is immense in this spot. I mean, it's been ran against Bold Spirits, just raced moments ago, fantastic. Jordy, who like a little bit later on in the program, Poseidon Sealster, absolutely. And that's the problem. That's why Gentle on My Mind and Hungry Man are such big prices. They're remaining in the same class, and you have all these other droppers in this field, which make things a little bit more challenging. You know, there's 2 horses in here that I was really torn with, the 7 and the 1. I'm going to give a slight nod to the 7, but the 1 is actually dropping multiple levels to get in this spot, this being Wallace Hartley. And, you know, J.R. Plon had his choice of this one, and Logan Beholdy is going to stick with the one, that being Wallace Hartley, and I would say deservedly so. The problem with Wallace Hartley is he just hasn't been able to win for a long time, which is a little bit concerning in here. The one horse that has not come back great to this point, Lisa, but is taking money right now at 7 to 2, is codenamed Cigar Box. You know, his campaign last year was decent. He had a great 2024. He's made almost $700,000. His qualifier was okay. His first start, not great. His second start, not great. But Eddie Headsley drove. Now all of a sudden Travis takes over here today. So codename Cigar Box, judging by the betting right now, might be a bit of a wake-up prospect in this event.
Right, and you know, Ed drove him the last couple of starts because Travis would have been driving Coke Cracker, and Travis would have been driving Pacino Hanover in those last couple of races. This is the lowest class we've seen him in some time too, and something must have been up because he got shelved back on July the 19th. So maybe he's just going to need a few starts. But I went towards Wallace Hartley. Like I said, we've kind of talked about this quite a bit, just hoping that this barn starts to shake loose and get into the winner's circle. But this is a dramatic drop from nominators of 12,000 in the last 4 to nominators of 6,000, and you're getting a much better price, 8 to 1, if you want to try to beat the 3 to 5er.
What about the other dropper? All bets on Tex. You know, comes from a really live barn, taking a little bit of money here right now at odds of 7 to 1. To me, I just prefer the 1 and the 7, but yet I wouldn't be surprised if you told me the 5 won the race.
Yeah, because the barn is so live right now, and you know, this horse coming was in the non-winners of 12,000, now the non-winners of 9,000, now the non-winners of 6,000. So, you know, it's kind of similar to some of the other horses, like say a Wallace Hartley, who's taken a pretty big drop. Yeah, I just kind of found it interesting. Like say that exactor last week was a big payoff. General on My Mind looked fantastic. Like we haven't used this in a long time, but he was honking.
Yeah, he was. I mean, what's so intriguing about that race, not only the odds of those horses, but where they came from to get into the exactor. One was last and one was second last. And the thing that is kind of unique to me to this portion of the night is the fact it's been extremely formful so far. Like we're kind of due to shake things up a little bit and get a bit of a number here, I would think.
Well, Scotty Young's been bringing home some upset winners as of late. We'll see if he can give us another one with this 28 to 1 shot as we get ready for race number 5.
Here's number 1, Wallace Hartley, lead parade for the 5th. J.R. Plant's in the bike. Chantel Mitchell training for the estate of Dale Toll. Number 2, codename Cigar Box. Travis Cullen drives. Jody Cullen trains for Paul Sanders, A1 Stable, and Ron Cullen. Number 3, Gentle on My Mind. Scott Young driving for trainer Anita Willett. Luke Willett owns. 4 is out. Number 5, All Bets on Tex. Brett McDonald driving for trainer Ron McDonald. Kent Livingston, Blair McLaughlin, and Mark Galano. Phil Hudon driving 6. Logan Behold. Joe McIsaac trains for Kimberly Eaton and Jamie Copley. Number 7, Ginger Tree Finney gets Louis Hua in the seat. Meg Crone training for Laverne Turnbull. The 8, Hungry Man. Doug McNair aboard. Greg McNair trains for Brad Grant. Number 9, Drinkin' Buddy, driven by Bob McClure. Heather Pickett trains and owns with Rick Pickett. And the 10 is JMR Speak Away. Todd Ratchford in the bike. Boyd Wilson trains for Harold Wilson and JMR Racing Incorporated. That's your field race 5, coming your way in 4 minutes. Starter now calls the field for race 5 to take up their positions behind the gate as we close out our first pick 5 wager of the night. Scratch down to a group of 9. Odds on favoritism right now to the 7, Ginger Tree Finney. Dropping down off a pretty good looking 4th place effort in the latest. We'll slide down to a decent post in the 6 hole now with the scratch of the 4. 4-1 on Wallace Hartley from the inside. A couple of 6-1 shots on the board as well. Good luck if you're trying to cash tonight's early pick 5. It all wraps up here in a couple of moments. Fifth race field. the hands of the starter. Here they come. There they go. They're off and pacing. And Phil Hudon calls on Logan Behold to sprint out of there. All bets on Tex, going with that one to the inside. In behind that pair, Ginger Tree, Finney from the rail, Wallace Hartley. Outside in fifth, heading to the opening turn, McClure with Drinkin' Buddy, looking for a seat. Then it's codenamed Cigar Box, is going to get away to the inside sixth. In front of Gentle on My Mind, who's got a pair behind him early. Hungry Man and JMR Speak Away. So they're now single file past the opening quarter in 26 and 4. We do get some quick movement out of third. Ginger Tree Finney won't risk getting caught in. Wall's going to roll him now after all bets on Tex because Wallace Hartley was on the move early here for Plon. So Ginger Tree Finney battles with all bets on Tex past 3/8 with Wallace Hartley parked and coming after the new leader. Logan Behold in fourth in front of Drinkin' Buddy fifth, then codenamed Cigar Box. Gentle on My Mind, Hungry Man, and two more to JMR Speak Away. Half was reached in 55 and 1, and Wallace Hartley is going to take over. Heading into this turn now to 5/8. Wallace Hartley leads it in front of Ginger Tree Finney and all bets on Tex. Codenamed Cigar Box was brought out of sixth. He's improved up to fourth now and a few away from leader Wallace Hartley. First up for Cullen. Following that one's covered, Gentle on My Mind, last week's big upsetter to the inside, Logan Behold. Third over from the back is Hungry Man. To that one's inside, Drinkin' Buddy. JMR Speak Away has trailed throughout. 3/4 was rung up in 124 flat. Wallace Hartley turns for home. Leading just over a length, Ginger Tree Finney now begins to angle out of the pocket. And we'll see if he can get the favorite to reach Wallace Hartley. And Wallace Hartley trying to battle back, but Ginger Tree Finney just too much. And Ginger Tree Finney is going to draw a clear lead. He'll win at 1-2 in front of Wallace Hartley. Gentle on My Mind and Logan Behold. Mile time was 1:52 and 2. Seven 136 unofficial. Race 5 winner back in front of us now, number 7, Ginger Tree Finney. 8-year-old bay gelding by Captain Treacherous out of the Western Ideal mare. Ideal Weather is owned by Laverne Turnbull. Meg Crone trains Louis Waugh with his second of the night. Ginger Tree Finney with his second of the year in 8 tries. 26-time winner now. 152 and 2 for 1-2 favorite Ginger Tree Finney. Here are the payouts. Number 7, Ginger Tree Finney, 310, 220, 210. Second was the 1, Wallace Hartley, 340, 250. Third, number 3, Gentle on My Mind, 740. $2 Exacta, 980. The dollar try paid 38.95. $1 Super, 303.15. $2 Double, 460. $1 Pick 3, 640. $1 Early Pick 5, $160 and a nickel. Just under 5,700 is still live in the Pick 4 going to the final leg. And the Pick 6 update, more than 2,400 heads on to race number 6. Hands of the starter, here they come. There they go. They're off and pacing. And Phil Hudon calls on Logan Behold to sprint out of there. All bets on Tex going with that one to the inside. In behind that pair, Ginger Tree Finney from the rail, Wallace Hartley. Outside in 5th, heading to the opening turn, McClure with Drinkin' Buddy. Looking for a seat. Then it's codenamed Cigar Box is going to get away to the inside 6th in front of Gentle on My Mind, who's got a pair behind him early. Hungry Man and JMR Speak Away. So they're now single file past the opening quarter in 26 and 4. We do get some quick movement out of third. Ginger Tree Finney won't risk getting caught in. Wall's going to roll him now after all bets on Tex because Wallace Hartley was on the move early here for Plant. So Ginger Tree Finney battles with all bets on Tex past 3/8 with Wallace Hartley parked and coming after the new leader. Logan Behold in 4th in front of Drinkin' Buddy 5th, then codenamed Cigar Box. Gentle on My Mind, Hungry Man, and 2 more to JMR Speak Away. Half was reached in 55 and 1, and Wallace Hartley is going to take over. Heading into this turn now to 5/8, Wallace Hartley leads it in front of Ginger Tree Finney and all bets on Tex. Codenamed Cigar Box was brought out of 6th. He's improved up to 4th now, and a few away from leader Wallace Hartley. First up for Cullen. Following that one's covered, Gentle on My Mind, last week's big upsetter to the inside, Logan Behold. Third over from the back is Hungry Man. To that one's inside, Drinkin' Buddy. JMR Speak Away has trailed throughout. 3/4 was rung up in 124 flat. Wallace Hartley turns for home. Leading just over a length, Ginger Tree Finney now begins to angle out of the pocket. And we'll see if he can get the favorite to reach Wallace Hartley. And Wallace Hartley trying to battle back, but Ginger Tree Finney just too much. And Ginger Tree Finney is going to draw a clear lead. He'll win at 1-2 in front of Wallace Hartley. Gentle on My Mind and Logan Behold. Mile time was 1:52 and 2. Fifth race, finish shorter, top down is 273, scratch 94, 165, 8 on the bottom. Sixth race, starting the late pick 5 next, no changes, 17 minutes to post time.
So the first pick 5 is complete, and we'll move over to the back half of the card now and kick off the late pick 5 for you here in race number 6. Non-winners of 12,000 in their last 4, and I guess the storyline is can RB's Tenacious T keep the streak alive? This horse is now a perfect. Well, he's has 6 in a row, and to me, he just keeps on getting better. But he's got to step it up tonight to try face off against some of these seasoned vets.
Unfortunately for him, one of the bad races he's had this season was one of the biggest paydays potentially for him, the valedictory final. But he bounced back and he won the snowshoe. And right now on the board, odds of 5-1. This is a bit of an acid test for him here tonight. You know, he's obviously facing a lot tougher than what he has been facing. But what he does for the remainder of the season is absolute bonus. He's made $69,000 so far.
He's basically paid for himself this year.
Yeah.
You know what, too, Jeff? When he came out for that first division of the snowshoe back on January the 17th, we said right there, this horse is going to win the final. Like, he just has that much confidence when you get to see him race. And the problem tonight is he's going to have to go off against a horse like Jordy, and this is a neato horse. I put him down as one to watch after that race last week where he finished in the 3rd spot in behind Lose World and Jack Panic. Jack Panic is in this race. He's the one horse in this spot currently at 5-1. And we do have that replay from February the 21st so that you can see both of these horses, Jack Panic and, of course, Jordy N, competing in that same race.
Right, and the horse that was not much of a factor in this particular event came back to win earlier on here today, that being Cold Creek Queso, who was 4th in this event. But going first up right now is Jack Panic at this portion of the proceedings, and this is where we find Travis Henry. And guess who's 4th over and now tip it out with an absolute full amount of steam. Here comes Jordy, and Jordy with Travis Cohn's going to be J-Mac that's going to drive here tonight. But I'll tell you, this guy was picking him up and putting him down, and got the inside horse a little bit more brave, and that was Lose World that was able to pull off the victory. Brutal beat there for Jack Panic. I think the concern that some people have with Jack Panic, now I'm picking the horse here tonight, is just because that last race, that's one of the best races we've seen from him in a long, long time. Can he duplicate it?
Yeah.
And that's a legit question to ask yourself. Whereas with Jordy, he's kind of a little bit more consistent, you know. Look at his last several starts. He has not missed a check so far this season. Top 3 in all 6 starts so far this year. He's had a terrific campaign. So you're certainly onto the logical horse. And the way that the chalk's been flying so far tonight, that might be the horse to play here tonight.
Now, what about the 7? Because, this is what you're looking at. He's a Maneri horse. You get Louis Waugh. He comes out of the same race, too, or one of the same similar races back on February the 14th, where some of these horses were in against each other. And, he was a 4th place finisher in behind horses like Pacina, Hanover, and Jordy.
I'd like to kind of pick. It's a shame that Randy's not working tonight, because I kind of would like to have picked his brand. I wonder if this horse really prefers coming off of a helmet instead of Kainet, because I know when the horse did go to the front and win back on November the 29th, that was, again, so much easier than what he's going to be facing here today. And this barn's kind of been hot and cold, I would say, over the last couple of days. They've had some horses win, but some horses have been a bit of a disappointment. The one that I find intriguing is Kevin Plaucha's horse, who's taken a lot of support here. This is his play of the night. This is Get Wings. Kevin obviously loved the way that this horse raced last time out. And what was so impressive about Get Wings is look how fast they went to the 3rd quarter in that race. 1:22.2. I mean, they were skadoodling. And he had every right to kind of pack it, and he did a little bit. So they're obviously hoping for a bit of a less aggressive approach here tonight.
Yeah, all right. So race number 6 will kick off the late pick 5, and you've got a ticket for us.
I do. So I'm going to go 3 deep in here. I've got the 1, 2, and 3. I've got to use RB's Tenacious T. The horse is so good right now, but I'll use Jack Panic and Jordy. I'm also going to use, coming up in race number 7, my key, that being Continuum. Love the qualifier with that one. In the 8th race, I'm going to go 4 deep, 3, 4, 5, and 7. I don't know how good this Lincoln Lamoose is. It was a bit of a disappointment to me last time up, but gets into a bit of an easier spot. 9th race, I've got 3 deep in the Open, which is very unusual for me. I've got Salzburg Victor, Dublin Dasher, and Brew Hanover, and then I'm all in, always be sweetest.
All right, and then I've got a late pick 5 for you too. I'll go 3 and 7. I'm leaving out my buddy RB's Tenacious T, but I'm really excited to see what this 3 horse is capable of here. I'm going to go against Continuum in the 7th race and use Liquid instead. I think he's sitting on a win from the Nixon outfit. I'll go 4 deep in the 8th race. I'll key on to Brew Hanover in the 9th race, and then go 3 deep in the last leg, including the 4. He's an interesting story, forefather. The 6, Always Be Sweetest, and the 7, Can't Stop.
You have me intrigued with this forefather story. You're going to have to tell us when that race comes.
Yeah, it's pretty neat, actually. Randy kind of hit me up to it, and now I'm a fan.
Okay.
So, neat little horse that'll be coming up a little later on in the program. He's a project horse, let's put it that way. A project that's turned out. So race number 6 kicks off the late pick 5, and horses will be headed out to the track shortly.